Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and most importantly, if you would like to join the debate with the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click the link in the info box to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, and if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to share the show on Facebook, Skype and Twitter, as we've just had a Chrome crash. So I'm going to share this new stream. If you are still in the live stream from the old stream, please share the show again, as this is actually a new feed. I'm going to need a few minutes literally just to get it together to get that stream up and running, as there are a few guests in the Hangout. So in a couple of minutes time I will rejoin the action. Massive thanks to all who have bared with us through this technical issue one last time. If you haven't done so already, please share this new stream, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Hopefully I'll be able to rejoin the Hangout unless there's 10 people in there. I think I've got everything else set up. We shall soon find out.
An individual.
There we go.
Yes.
Yo, what's up, Nathan? What's going on, bro?
I've just had a Chrome
They're
crash.
trying to shut you down.
It's the Illuminati trying to shut me down.
Yeah.
Why is it every time Pete Shea appears I get sniped?
Pete Shea's just a troll. Somebody's got a lot of feedback. I think it's Lottie.
Yeah, I think Lottie's got the watch page open.
Yeah, you've got the watch page open, Lottie. I've muted you anyway. Right, so we're back on the air. I've done a new introduction. Everybody should be heard. I just need to check a couple of other things, but as far as I can tell, thank you for bearing with me, the audience. Please
Yeah,
share
we've
the
only got
show
one
as we
stupid
have a new
person in
link.
at the
This is a
moment,
new
right,
feed.
mate?
So
We have some more stupid people.
sorry, Mark. You just interrupt me. That's good.
Okay, so well, I didn't hear you talking, Nathan. Sorry, but you're really quiet.
Yeah, I'm done. You guys carry on. I think we can see and hear, and everything's working as far as I can tell.
Good show, Nathan. Thanks.
You have a new guest that was not a couple that were not in the previous hangout.
My
okay.
name's Jimmy, and I like flat Earth.
I'm not talking about you.
Somebody from the chat can just let me know if they can see and hear everything while I bring it up on my iPad. That'd be brilliant. Thank you very much. YouTube may snipe everyone out just to make my life even more stressful.
It's a disgrace, that guy, whoever's doing it. It's just, he probably thinks he's hacking the Matrix. Absolutely pathetic.
Tests
Yeah,
my tenacity.
It's telling, Chris. It's telling.
Just to clarify for Ranty, I did not snipe you, Ranty. I get more fun from
they
mocking
don't
you.
want to have. The more people that listen to ballers talk nonsense, the more people that fall in line with the flat Earth. That's what they don't want to happen. They're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect all the ballers.
Are you defending the snipers now?
I mean, if we were really talking that much nonsense,
Ranty was sniped.
They wouldn't snipe the hangout. They would just leave.
Ranty was sniped.
Just ramble on speaking nonsense.
Ranty was sniped.
How you doing, Tony?
Anthony was sniped.
Yeah, Ranty and Anthony was sniped. Of course, that's telling. It's not pathetic.
But I get sniped last night 3 times.
Yeah, just to clarify, I didn't snipe anyone. I'll get more fun.
I don't know how to do it.
In the hangout. So
Yeah,
just to clarify
I'm too stupid to snipe.
I wouldn't snipe you, Ranty.
Right, Tony.
I'll get more fun exposing your life.
I think we've got Ranty and Riley back. I just want to check. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Ranty, you there?
Yeah.
All right.
Right. So, Mark, is there any evidence for the destruction of the weather vane thing? Do you know where the evidence is?
Yes, it's on Imrich's channel.
On Imrich's channel. Is that the evidence?
Sorry, Rick's channel.
We can't, his videos don't stay up.
So that's basically. So you're accepting hearsay evidence as truth, right?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
You're accepting hearsay evidence as truth.
No.
Well, is there anything better than Imrich's channel as for in terms of the credibility, in terms of this?
Right. Have you got any evidence that it's still there, please?
Well, it appears to be there with the his own work.
So that's hearsay then, isn't it?
No, the government site says it's there.
The government site says it's there, and soundly
according to the evidence
own
market,
work that it appears
there.
to be.
Otherwise, then you're just talking nonsense.
No, it does not
say
it's still there.
Otherwise, you're talking baloney.
No, it does not say it's still there.
What is the government evidence it's still there?
Yeah, so far it's there. So we'll go with it's there.
Based upon what first? Based upon what?
Based upon the
evidence so far.
Before Ranty got sniped, he showed that the website had been updated recently, and it wasn't updated to say that it had been destroyed.
Okay, what data are they gathering from it currently?
In addition, Soundly appears to have captured light sources from the same area at the same distance at the same
what data
observation
was
point.
it updated with, Riley? Was it just simply you're going on the statement that it was updated, the page?
Just the website.
I'm going on Soundly capturing evidence himself
from that station.
I'm going on the fact that Soundly's also got evidence indicating it's still there. So what I'm asking is there any credible evidence to show that it is gone?
With it?
Yeah, can you show us the weather data for 2016 off that
asking
website?
ridiculous questions. Mark, either show it's here or show it's not.
Can you show us the weather data for 2016?
Yeah, you're just taking this around and round.
It's a simple thing. Somebody said that
well,
thing is missing.
Show it.
Somebody has said the weather thing is missing, and we're asking to see the evidence that it's been destroyed.
Talking, like I said before, you become very good preachers because you preach your faith.
So you just ramble on for hours and hours.
No, we don't ramble on.
He never says anything.
Show something, we'll show you.
So you're going to call out Ranty and Riley for being trolls like you did the other day, Kimo?
What are they trolling about? Where's the trolling?
You know, when you call them trolls.
Well, no, I don't know, Mark. You said they were trolling. Where's the trolling?
Well, you told me they were trolls.
Well, where are they trolling? Show me where they're trolling, and we'll talk about the trolling.
Well, you said that
hang on, I don't like the way this is going. We should be talking about the evidence.
Let's stop distracting.
I
produced evidence that the station is still there, and it lines up with Soundy's video, and Soundy has captured the weather station. You say that the weather station is gone, and I'm asking just where is that evidence?
Are you going to show that it's not there?
Simple.
Well, show me the weather station. It's a weather station. Show me the weather data for 2016 at that location.
No, let's show the evidence or something to show that it's not there.
I'll accept that the weather station is still there.
Yeah, but Mark,
can you present that evidence, please?
You haven't provided anything for us to say, let's show Mark.
So can you present that evidence, please?
Spinning ball with curvature. You haven't shown anything. We've been asking you for the last 2-3 years for something,
original
Mark. And then you pile there soundly shows us a fake curvature. So what are you going to show us? That's what we're waiting for.
Hang on, the website proof lies with he who asserts. Mark asserts that it's been destroyed.
Dear, look at that. So it's on the website that he says it's destroyed. So Ranty is lying then.
Okay. He knew that though.
Find some evidence.
Yeah, I know he knows that. I mean, Riley and Ranty are the biggest liars on YouTube. So.
For real. You guys all believe him too, all the time.
Yeah, that's what's so funny about it. You call yourself truthers, and you let people lie to you blatantly.
It has to be shown. That's the whole point. That's the
hilarious.
whole point.
Evidence really
investigation. Something that you guys never seem to
do. You've made an assertion.
You don't do investigation. You never do.
Spurs.
So until you investigate. Yeah,
you need to do more investigation. We've been through this.
Yeah, we've done some investigation.
Where's the evidence?
You're acting as though it never happened.
Where is the evidence, please?
On the website.
It's all there from when we went through it before.
Yes.
Right. Well, so
show it again.
Show it all down again because you want to dig it up.
No, just show us the evidence it's been destroyed because it appears by his own evidence that it's not.
You show me some evidence that it's posting data since it was destroyed.
Soundy's own evidence shows that it's posting data.
No, it's
a lie.
What? Why would Soundly show weather station data?
Well, it shows that it's still there.
Yeah.
And
no, it doesn't. No. Stop lying. Why do you have to lie? No. If you've got evidence, present it. Don't lie.
Well, if a website is being kept up to date by a webmaster, that doesn't necessarily mean the weather's data's up to date.
Right,
if it's a weather station, surely you can find the data from the weather station.
The lights that Soundly shows in his own evidence wouldn't be emitting light if it had been destroyed. So where's the evidence that it's been destroyed?
If it was something else, though, wouldn't it?
Which is, Mark, what is that something else?
I don't know.
You don't know. That's the point. That's the problem with the borders. They don't know much. They don't do much investigating.
So you're saying then a weather station that was destroyed in 2012 is still emitting light, is it?
So what is the light then, Mark? That's the question.
Mark, do you agree that his own evidence is showing two lights coming from that area? Do you not agree that?
Yes,
I mean, if it's sticking out of the water, it would still have to warn other people. It would still have to warn people that there is something here. Don't run into it with a boat.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see the evidence that it's been destroyed. That's what we're asking for.
Is this really relevant? Does it matter? If it's a weather station, if it's just a light.
If it hasn't been destroyed, it means it's still there, and he's evidencing that it's flat.
What?
The weather station is only 13 meters above sea level. The distance is 20 miles away. It should be beyond the curve. If he's finding curve in the pylons, he shouldn't be seeing the weather station. That's the point.
Just do some screen sharing.
What's the point?
Very simple.
Sorry, Ranty, did you just want to repeat it again? Because everyone's gone silent. You nearly got it all through. I heard it, and it was very good.
Okay, well, the point is that if let me share. Would it be easier if I shared my screen?
So we say, all right then, I'll give you it.
Just explain it verbally. You said it very concisely.
Just give him it.
Okay. Well, basically, if he's capturing curve on the pylons, but he's actually also evidencing the weather station, which is a further 6 miles further down the line, then that should be beyond the curve. If we believe that the pylons are curving, then we shouldn't be seeing the weather station. But if we're seeing the weather station, then what we're actually seeing is just an optical distortion with the whatever's going on there. Whatever's going on there.
How high is the weather station up? How high up is it?
13 meters to the top. 13 meters. That's 40 feet.
Are we seeing all the weather station, Ranty?
Well, you're seeing the two lights, you're seeing the top, the middle, and you're also seeing a gap between the bottom.
Which
is quite impressive given it's
all of it.
Should
we see any of it? That's the question.
Well, we should see all of it if the Earth...
No, Mark, you did this last time, Mark. We get this a lot from people who don't seem to understand the problem. It really frustrates me. So they say, well, can we see all of it, like you've just done? Well, no, he's just explained to you that we shouldn't see any of it, and now you're asking if we can see to the bottom, like Lou and Kata. And basically, Mark, by asking that question, Mark, you are demonstrating... Hold on, Spurs. Let me just tell Mark. I want to berate Mark. You are demonstrating, Mark, that you do not understand the problem. You are representative of the slower people amongst this group because you don't understand the problem. You are just a bit slow. You're just a bit slow, and every time you do it, you're demonstrating to the audience, the ones who do get it, how slow you are. You should be embarrassed with yourself.
Well, I'm slow, so we don't see the whole tower. We don't see the whole tower, Nathan. And your explanation is that I don't get it.
Yes, we shouldn't see any of the tower, Mark. We shouldn't see any of it.
Why don't we see the whole tower, Nathan?
Well, Mark, I've just explained to you that we shouldn't see any of it, and you're asking me why we can't see some of it. That makes no sense.
There may be other factors.
Hold on, you see, maybe Chris gets it. Maybe Chris is going to give us a hologram explanation or something along those lines.
Here we go.
It's not hologram. I mean...
No, I agree. Nathan, I think we can just see these things, Chris. I don't think we see holograms. I don't think we see mirages. I don't think these things are looming. There are instances in these photographs.
No, I mean, it is a thing.
No, I understand these things exist.
Why you continue with the hologram straw man?
It's not my straw man, it's yours, Curved. You're saying that what we don't see... No. I'll give an example. I've been bored into this. I don't mind. Not at all. No problem. If you want to tell me that the picture that we see from the Isle of Man, Curved, is behind a 1,000-foot wall of curvature, then we do not...
I'm not an atmospheric scientist, mate.
You're just going to laugh over me, Mark. Seriously. It's the first time I've joined this conversation.
I can't help it when you keep saying stupid things.
Mark, you're too slow to get it, so you don't have a horse in this race, my friend. Right? But if we are looking at the Isle of Man with all of it there, and yet, Mark, don't troll me. I'm trying to explain to the audience. You're too slow to get it. Eventually, you might be like Lou. You might need 8 explanations to actually get it while you laugh. Right. Anyway, if we are looking at the entirety of the Isle of Man, all the way down to the shoreline where it meets the land, then if we are on a ball, we must be looking at a projection of that land because it is obscured by a 1,000-foot wall of earth curve. Therefore, we do not have line of sight with the bottom half of that island. Therefore, it's a projection of that land. We do not have line of sight with it. In the same way as don't laugh, Mark. You don't understand. You're too stupid to get this. As Ranty has just explained with the weather station, we do not have line of sight with any of the weather station, Mark. You can laugh all you like, you're just demonstrating your stupidity.
Oh, you're so funny, Nathan.
You're just stupid. Ignorant and stupid, you don't get the problem. You're like Lou, Alex, and a few others who are too slow to get it.
Why are you calling it a projection?
Nathan, could you present the Skype screen so that Ranty can show what he's got on screen?
I know what you're talking about. Why can we see any of it and all that? But, you know...
Oh, here we go. Let's hear Chris's explanation because he obviously, or maybe, gets it.
I can't make pronouncements in things that I know nothing about or... things I'm not sure on.
Okay, well, let's have Chris against this then, right? Chris, do you understand, you're a heliocentric believer, that there is a 1,000-foot wall? Obviously, it's varied, but I'm just giving an average 1,000-foot wall blocking our line of sight with the Isle of Man. Do you understand that to be the case? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
So you understand that we live... Hold on. So you understand in that case that we live on a flat plane. If we do have line of sight with the Isle of Man, we live on a flat plane.
Yeah, but you don't know.
We're objecting to the 1,000.
Curved, I'll come to you later. Let's just have one at a time. Chris, if we have line of sight with the Isle of Man, we live on a flat plane.
I need to know the elevation. I need to know the atmospheric conditions, and I don't know enough about it to...
Okay, I'll tell you again. It's really simple. We see all of it. from 35 feet at the beach to all of it.
You don't see the beach. You don't see the beach.
Yeah, we do. We see the line where the water meets the land. We can't see the sand. We're behind the water, you idiots. But we see the point where the water meets the land. We see it.
Thinks line's acceptable.
But why wouldn't you be able to see the sand if you've got some elevation?
We're behind the water.
On a flat.
Why would that be a
water
problem?
on flat? You're claiming it's flat. What water is it behind if it's flat?
The water that's in front of us.
Flat and level.
Okay, this is very simple. There is a town and a lighthouse that on the heliocentric model are obscured by a wall of Earth curve. Therefore, in the heliocentric model, we do not have line of sight with the town or the lighthouse. Now, that is a fact in the heliocentric model. There is, in the heliocentric model, a wall of Earth curve blocking our view. Therefore, if we do not have line of sight, in your model, it must be a projection of something we cannot see.
No,
don't know if it's that.
Not a projection, and we also have refraction in our model.
Right, so here we go. Curved's now going to admit it's a bloody hologram. Curved is now going to admit it's a hologram.
That is not a hologram, Nathan.
You can call it whatever you like. I'm calling it a hologram because it's nonsense. We have line of sight. We can see it, Curved. You can call it whatever the hell you like. I'll call your fantasy a hologram. Your fantasy that we have a wall of Earth curve in the way is nonsense. That's why I'm calling it a hologram. I'll call it what I like. It's a fantasy from heliocentric fantasists.
Never call it a hologram.
It's a fantasy. We have line of sight curve. We see it. There's no wall of Earth blocking our view. We can see it. If you want to claim that we can't, if you want to claim we can't see it, as must be the case in the heliocentric model, then it must be a projection. Because that's what your model dictates it must be. It must be a hologram if you're on a globe. I don't think it's a hologram. I think we can just see it. Obviously, I believe the evidence of my own eyes. We see it because it's there. It's not a hologram. I agree, Curved. It's not looming. It's not a projection. It's not a mirage. Just see it.
Nathan's triggered bad, man.
No, you trigger me, Mark, because you're a moron, because you don't get it. You, Lou and Alex all annoy me because you're all idiots. Too slow to understand the problem.
Please.
So yeah, Mark's too slow to understand this problem. You get it, Curved, and you're an apologist and a fantasist, and you want to call it looming. You want to call it a mirage. You want to call it a hologram. Well, you're not going to, because we see it.
You're a triggered accuser.
You can say I'm triggered all you like. Doesn't change the fact that there is no 1,000-foot Earth wall blocking our view. It's not a straw man, it's a fact. We see it.
It is a straw man.
We see it.
We do not
into great detail about this.
Characterization of a hologram is a straw man, Nathan.
No, it isn't. You can call it whatever you like, Curved. Do you want to call it looming, Curved? Would that make you feel better if you call it looming?
Fine by me.
Right, you can call it whatever you like, mate. We don't have a projection of the land behind a 1,000-foot wall of Earth curve. We just see it. We do have line of sight with that land, Curved. We do have line of sight. We can see it. You're just a fantasist. You think you see things looming. You think you see things looming because you must. Because in your model, there must be a wall of Earth curve in our way, and there isn't.
Riley himself demonstrated that he's higher than 35 feet.
Oh, here we go. So now we're not calling it a mirage. We're saying he's lying about the height. More crap answers for why we see it. We have line of sight. It's not a hologram. It's not a hologram, is it, Curved? It's not a hologram. It's not a hologram. We can see it.
Go into this before.
You're well above the water. That is a relevant point.
We see it. We shouldn't see it. There should be a 1,000-foot wall of Earth curve in our way, and in your model there is. In your model there is a 1,000-foot blocking our view. That's what happens in your model.
Why are you exaggerating?
See, some people in the chat don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I get it. Neither does Mark. Mark doesn't know what we're talking about. Neither does Alex. Neither does Lou. These people are all too slow.
Nathan, I found your channel and I came on, and I didn't know what you guys were talking about. But I know what you're talking about. I've not seen the picture in question actually. I've not seen all the conditions, and I've not seen the elevations and whatnot.
Well, it's a really basic picture. It's a picture of all of the Isle of Man. We've got a town and a lighthouse visible that shouldn't be because there's an earth wall curve blocking our view in your model.
Why are you saying we can see all of it? Then you're making excuses for why we can't see the bottom.
Right, we shouldn't be able to see the lighthouse. We shouldn't be able to see the town. We shouldn't be able to see the bottom half of the island. We shouldn't be able to see it, and we do. That's the bottom line. We are triangulating the island with things that should be blocked by a wall of earth curve.
Triangulated a thing.
Yeah, what are you going to gish gallop with now, Curved? You're going to tell me it's a hologram? You're going to tell me it's looming? Tell me it's a mirage again so I can laugh at you and call you a fantasist again. I quite enjoy calling Curved a fantasist because he is, along with all the rest of the people who believe there's a 1,000-foot wall blocking our view of that island. There's no 1,000-foot wall.
No, I don't.
Why can't we see all of Ireland, Nathan?
Why can't we see all of Ireland? Because it's too far and there's refraction getting in the way.
Oh, moisture in the atmosphere.
Moisture in the atmosphere, exactly.
You don't even know what refraction is.
So let me just ask Paul this question, Paul. See if he knows and understands completely. Do we have... Hold on, Paul. I want to ask you a quick question. Paul, do we have line of sight with the lighthouse? Yes or no?
We have line of sight because of refraction, Nathan.
Line of sight means straight. So what you're saying is no, we don't have line of sight.
No, it does not.
Line of sight means
straight. No requirement for line of sight to be straight,
Give me 2 minutes. Nathan. I'll just Wikipedia it like everyone else does and bring it up on
it's not
Wikipedia. Guys, let's not forget what refraction is. It's negligible. It's not worth talking about.
If it was negligible, then it wouldn't be a thing.
Well, it is negligible by your own science, gentlemen. It's not worth talking
negligible,
about.
but every surveyor has to take it into account, hey?
It's negligible. It's not worth talking about.
So it's okay for him to use it, is it?
Mick West, no, it's not okay for him to use it. He's a fraud.
Oh, so why weren't you saying to Nathan then? Why didn't you pull Nathan up about it?
Nathan
I agree with Nathan.
Nathan just said it's refraction. That's why we're seeing the lighthouse. So can you?
I thought you said Mick West.
Then,
sorry,
please,
I thought you said Mick West. I didn't know
Nathan
you said Nathan.
Said refraction.
Don't think,
so
Riley,
can you correct Nathan
that gets
then?
you into trouble.
Right. So can we go back to the evidence for Pontchartrain weather station being destroyed?
Then? Right, Riley. Okay, so refraction is a thing then.
It is a thing, but it's negligible. It's not worth talking about.
Oh, so what? It is a thing, but it's negligible. Okay,
it's negligible. Okay. Yeah, by your own science, it's negligible.
You wouldn't take something negligible into account.
It's not worth calculating for. It's not worth talking about.
I'm sharing a screen. Refraction over ice and water. Let me
Paul,
see.
Have you got any evidence of molten iron creating its own charge?
These are measurements that have been taken by people, and it says, Kabashi 2003 obtained refraction coefficients from +1 to +18 from reciprocal vertical angles for a line of sight about 5 meters over water.
Yeah, but it's still negligible, though.
What negligible is it, Riley?
Wow.
It's
negligible by Mick West's own evidence himself.
Hold on, let's let him have this.
Do you know what that means?
Can you show us some examples?
I don't know what that means.
And we're waiting for evidence from Mark that the weather station's been destroyed.
Anthony, can you say that you don't know what a refraction coefficient of it +18 is? Can you say you do know what it is?
Riley can say anything.
Is that aimed at me?
Riley can say
Anthony, can you say you know what that means? Do you know what a refraction coefficient of +18 means?
Do I know what it means? In context, it means right. I can't share my screen, so I'm not able to really answer that.
Well, I can say I don't know what it means.
Paul, would you mind putting that link in the general chat? Oh, I don't know actually.
Well,
I need to get the link.
Why is it so difficult for you to admit to something so trivial as that you don't know something?
I'd like to read it before committing to anything. So can I get the link to Nathan?
Why do you have to
nice
read it to
caveat.
answer the question? You know what +18 is or not?
I know what it is, but I want to read the whole paper because I don't like to read. I don't like to cherry pick.
Riley?
So let's get the link and let me read what it says, and then I'll come back to you. That's the first thing.
You don't know what it is. If you have to come back to us, then you don't. Why can't you say I don't know, Anthony? What's the problem?
Oh no, I know what the refraction coefficient is. I'd like to read the context in which the paper's been written before I comment.
You do know what it is. You do know what a refraction coefficient of +1 to +18 means, or you don't?
I do. I do know what the refraction coefficient of +1 to
Can you tell me, please?
means.
I don't know
However,
what it is.
in the context in this paper's been written in, I would like to read it.
In the context of
he's clueless. He hasn't got
I don't even know, Riley. Help me out here. Come on.
These are real-life measurements of refraction coefficients, Riley.
So if I show you real life measurements, Paul, if I show you, Paul, real life measurements of how it's possible to get a car to go 300 miles an hour, and then I bring up a picture of a car and tell you that that's the car that can go 300 miles an hour, does that prove that that is the car that can go 300 miles an hour just because I've proved it with the maths?
Riley is saying that the car can't go 300 miles per hour. That's
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in the images that we have, we need to see visual evidence of these things that you're talking about, and you're just showing us how the maths works to make it work on paper. Now, in the case of the Isle of Man photo, I'm asserting that I would like to see visual... I would like to see visual comparisons to see this refraction that they're measuring and then compare it to the Isle of Man. So if you can say this is the image they took and here's the refraction they measured and you can demonstrate it visually, we can then make a visual comparison with the Isle of Man and see if they're comparable. But so far, every time we ask you for the evidence, you take us to the maths rather than going to the photo and showing us where the refraction begins and where the refraction ends. You won't let me get to the end of my point, Paul. I want the evidence to be demonstrated in the photography. Hold on, Grim, I'll get to you in a second. I want the evidence to be shown in the photography. I want to be shown where the refraction begins and where it ends. Where the true line of sight begins, where we do have a line of sight, and where that ends. But what we get is maths. We don't get shown on the evidence where this refraction and looming and holograms and mirages, we don't get to see that in the picture. We just get told how it works.
Need the barometric pressure and the air.
You're doing it now. I want to see it in the image. One of you bring up the image of the Isle of Man and show me where this refraction is evidenced.
And the other thing is, in addition to that, the minute they start talking about pressure, whoever it was that said pressure then, you're not even applying the standard refraction maths, because the standard refraction maths does not take into account pressure, density, or viscosity, or anything like that.
Riley, that's
no, it doesn't. It simply does 7
I don't know what the standard refraction maths are. I'm not being facetious here. Can you tell me? I honestly don't know.
Standard refraction maths is an arc calculation, a geometric calculation based on 7/6 of the radius of the Earth.
I really don't know. Can you tell me, please, Anthony?
He's trying to, but Curved Water just can't help trolling him as he tries to explain it.
I suppose I'm being a little bit facetious because I know that you don't know, Anthony.
I'm trying to answer it, but I keep getting spoke over, my mate. The standard refraction, according to the Metabunk website, is a geometric calculation, in other words, an arc, based on 7/6 of the radius of the apparent Earth curvature, the apparent Earth radius. Now, apparent is used by Mick West himself. He actually uses the word apparent Earth radius, and that's why I'm citing it too. But it's a continuous arc going down. So when you guys start talking about pressure and temperature and viscosity of the air, they're all relevant factors, but they're not calculated in the standard refraction maths.
And perhaps if you read the paper a bit further, Riley, you would realise where that 7/6 on R comes from. It comes from the refraction coefficient calculation.
It comes from an apparent
radius. That stings, huh, Riley? Burns right in your butthole. That burns.
Paul would like to bring it up so we can read it.
Yeah, he's so stupid, he doesn't even know how stupid he is.
Bring it up, Paul. And in the meantime, while Paul's bringing that up, Mark, if you could get us the evidence for the weather station being destroyed, I'd appreciate it.
Well, no, it's your claim.
We're still waiting for evidence from molten iron in your case, showing that it can create its own charge.
As you corrected Ali B earlier, the person making the claim has to support evidence. So can you present the evidence? I asked for the weather data.
You're the one that said it was destroyed by
that location.
Fire or whatever.
So can you present the evidence, please?
Can I present the evidence of what, Mark?
Yeah, well, the weather data for 2016 from the weather station, you say...
You're the one that said it's destroyed, so we're asking you to prove that statement
well, no,
to be
your
true.
claim is it's there, Riley. So, as you said to Ali B earlier, the person making the claim has to support
you've made the claim it's been destroyed, and Ranty's shown on two pieces of evidence that it appears to still be there.
So you can't present the evidence, okay?
Appears
so
absolute resounding no.
So just so everyone's clear,
Mark,
the person making the claim
two
can't
pieces of
support
evidence
the
that indicate
so
it's still there.
So you're the one that asserts that it's not. Like a scoreboard
so
right
can
on the
we
chart
see the evidence
on the top
that it's
there,
not?
so we can just see how many times Riley's butt got spanked today.
We've got a new guest who was alleged to have a father who was an astronaut.
Nathan, you
Is
too,
that
your
right?
butt's all red too, and I'd be quiet
What?
if
We do?
Hi, Grim. Sorry to interrupt you. We've got M. Scott here. Did you?
Grim to the show.
Sorry, Grim. We've got M. Scott here. How are you doing, M. Scott?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Let's
doing?
go.
Hello.
So you apparently have got a father who's an astronaut. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was a shuttle astronaut.
Shuttle astronaut. Cool. Tell us all about it.
Not much to tell. It's he went up in 90 and 92. The only thing that I have to say that's of interest is that I had plenty of opportunities to see if it was a lie, and like the amount of lying they would have to be doing like for 20 years at like 2 a.m. at the end of a party when it's just the astronauts, you know, and I'm a kid and I can kind of hear from my room, like they're telling stories about what they're doing. They'd have to be making that stuff up nonstop.
Yeah, they are doing, mate.
That's
pretty much what we're asserting. Yeah.
I like hearing that.
Yeah, we're pretty much asserting that exact thing, that they're pretty much lying non-stop. That's exactly what we're asserting.
All right,
obviously, Nathan, you're missing the elegance of that that conveyance there. Again. Yeah.
Oh no, it's very elegant. We saw the elegance in it, but we're calling bullshit. It's that simple.
My uncle told me a story, Grim. My uncle told me a story. He's a pastor, and he told me about when he met an astronaut. This is obviously third hand, but I'll repeat it anyway. He told me they met this astronaut, and he went up and he was on the moon. I can't remember which astronaut. I'll find out from him next time I speak to him, and I'll add that to the story. But this astronaut told him that the shuttle didn't work, and they thought they were going to be not the shuttle, the LEM, the bit that lands, the lander module, didn't work. They couldn't get it to fire. So he got back out of the module, went underneath and prayed to God. And when he got on his knees, he noticed that there was a valve that had come loose. He refastened it, got back in, and then they launched. That was the story he told my uncle.
Okay, and you think that's a better story than Scott being the actual son of astronauts who party and talk together at 2 a.m, still talking about how they're astronauts and how it's all real, even when nobody's watching?
No, it just sounds like lies.
That's a better story.
It just sounds like lies to me, Grim. It just sounds like lies. He's telling somebody a story about getting back out of the module, getting on his knees and praying to God.
That sounds like an anecdote to me, though.
And then finding that there's a valve loose. And then that's
Scott's story, or is that your story?
It's a third-hand story. I'm not going to lie that it's third-hand, but this is a story. I've got it documented. I've got it documented from him. It was
second-hand story.
The first interview I did ever, probably nearly 3 years ago, was with my uncle, who's a pastor. And at the time, I was all for the Christian elements of the flat Earth. It was like a revival in my Christian understanding. So I went straight to my uncle and said, "Do you understand your Bible's a flat Earth book?" And he told me all about how the Earth was a globe, and one of his examples was meeting an astronaut, and that was the story he told me. It's there, you can see it, it's my first interview, it's published, but he tells that story.
Oh, cool. So people have been trying to tell you for this long that the Earth is round, and you still don't
hear
get
that
it?
story and hear nonsense.
Nathan, what a boring story.
Yeah, very boring, but it sounds like lies. Just sounds like lies.
It's a creepypasta.
Creepypasta, I love it. But yeah, it just sounds like a bullshit story. That's the bottom line.
It does. Most times you hear stuff like that, you prayed to God, and then all of a sudden, amazing, it could be.
Yeah. What they didn't say is that he, found what was wrong, fixed it, and then they left.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Can I just add to the
one guy gets out, he walks out, does a job that's not even his, turns a crank on a valve on something that has nothing to do with his job, and then now he's an astronaut again, goes back in, and
yeah, that's exactly what the story was. The shuttle, the ship didn't work. The craft couldn't get them off the moon. They didn't know what to do, so they got on their knees and prayed, or he did. And in doing so, he found the problem. That's his story. That's the astronaut who went to the moon. I'll get the name of him off my uncle.
So unless Mark Taylor can produce evidence that the weather vane thing is damaged or destroyed, we're going to take it based on Soundly's evidence that it's still there, and Soundly proves the Earth is flat.
No, you're wrong again.
Riley, you're not really embarrassed. Are you like just a character doing this for fun? Is this you're either that? I mean, I don't understand. Like, either that or
he's a troubled soul.
I don't want to be too rude.
And this is from Mr. Grimm.
Dense. You gotta be almost as dense as near infinite density. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he failed at law school. He couldn't get into law school, so he comes on YouTube to try and put forward arguments.
Completed it, Mark. Boxed it off. Done.
Sorry guys to turn you down, but I am going to do a quick link, as this is now technically, or should be, the end of the show, as we've had a full 2 hours. However, we had approximately 20 minutes or so of technical issues, so I will run this stream a little bit longer. If you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. You'll have to excuse me, I'm very bunged up. And if more importantly than anything, if you'd like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you're currently listening to on mute, simply click that link to join the show and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, and if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. This is a Part B show, so it does have a new link. Please share that link, even if you have shared the link for the Part A show, as it does increase the live audience, which in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. I've unmuted myself in the Hangout just to let the guys know that we are over the 2 hours, but I will let this show run for a couple more minutes, maybe 20 more, as we had a technical issue, so feel free to continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
Thanks, Nathan. So I'd like Anthony to explain why these people have apparently got it wrong, why they've identified that land to the right there as the point of Ayr, which is actually part of the Isle of Man.
That's got a sting too.
What are you talking about? Which people?
It's called a spanking, Anthony.
Bear with me, Paul. Sorry, this is a
like a
Skype and Google thing. So if I share my screen on Skype, they should be able to see what you're now displaying. Bear with me just 30 seconds.
You're talking to a guy who thinks the moon is transparent.
There it is. Simple as that. What's on Paul's screen? I mean, Paul, there you have it.
Okay.
No, I agree with that. But do you know where that picture's taken, Lee? That's been taken at the top of that hill, hasn't it? You've got that picture.
Yes, that is my picture.
Right, Paul, do you know where that picture's been taken from?
It's been taken from the top of the hill, yes.
Yeah,
but it still shows the point of Ayr
you might
to the right of the Isle of Man.
Can you show where it's been taken, Paul?
Where you're claiming that Ireland is.
Right.
Paul, can you show where it's been taken, please?
For you, Paul. I mean, Anthony.
Paul, can you show where it's been taken, please?
This is the land that you're claiming is Ireland.
To be a man,
they're claiming that it's the point of Ayr.
Can you show where it's taken from? Is the question.
We can prove that it's not point of Ayr. But in any event, Paul,
that's what
do you know
man
where that
is,
picture's been taken from?
Ding, ding. Anthony can deny anything.
We're not getting an answer.
No. There's a difference. I'm not denying. I'm accepting. However, I'm asking Paul, does he know where the picture's been taken or not?
Yes.
Right. Can you tell me and show us where it's been taken?
Well, it tells you on the plaque there that it's been taken from a ruined brick building.
Right. Do you know where? Can you show it, please?
What?
You see what I mean? Show me green ice cream now. I mean,
can you show where it is, please? It's particularly relevant to what you're showing on screen. So if you don't know where it is, just say, and I'll tell the audience until they do know.
Wait, does that plaque say you're at 260 feet height?
Yeah.
So we should be able to see more of Ireland because we're even higher now.
Right. So do you know where it was taken, Paul, or not? If you don't,
it's irrelevant where it's taken from. It's taken from 30 miles away, the same distance.
Right, but listen, it is relevant, Paul, because it's taken from St. Bees Head. And do you know what the elevation is of that St. Bees Head, Paul?
What's that?
Why do we have to tell it? Why do we have to say the elevation and everything when?
Yeah, I know. What flavor is your favorite ice cream? See, I'm conceding that you're right, but tell me, is it strawberry or chocolate?
So, welcome trolling. The question is, do you know the elevation of that head?
The image here is from a height of 80 meters, 260 feet.
And what would that then do to the elevation, to the site that you can see?
It means you'd see more of the Isle of Man.
Which is exactly what it shows. But when I'm at 35 feet, which is like a fraction of the 80 meters you've just cited, that means I'm still seeing consistent with that, Paul. So they've not got it wrong. They've got it right. You just use your interpretation. I think it means I've got it wrong.
No.
It doesn't say they
see Ireland. It seems to be a bit of a moot point, Paul. Sorry.
Bit of a moot point. What, that they can't see Ireland? Or is
no. Let me say it, because I don't think you're all good. Let me say it again.
Riley identified as Ireland, but they're
let me say it again,
identifying
because I don't think you heard what I said, because I spoke over.
I suppose it's a hologram, though.
Just shut up a second. Let me respond.
Yeah, that's probably a hologram.
Yeah, it's a hologram.
That photograph taken at the
we
top
don't
of
understand.
an elevation of 80 meters.
Trying to identify
I am
as
at 35 to 50 meters feet.
the point of air.
That's a fraction of the height that you were at, Paul. So it's consistent with my observation. It's not inconsistent. You're just using it to misrepresent and try and create the perception that in some way I've done it wrong. But it supports my version of events, Paul. It supports the evidence.
Nothing supports
it doesn't
your
contrast
version of
it.
events, Riley, because you're a liar.
Any evidence of that?
Give us any of the data we needed.
Any evidence of that,
Here's
please,
another
Mark.
picture. Here's another picture of the Isle of Man taken from St. Bees as well. You notice they don't say, "Oh, we can see Ireland here as well."
Oh, look at that! Look, exactly like what you presented. The land.
You probably could. You probably could. Where is this?
Okay, that's
let's have that. Let's have that. Let's have that link, please.
The land either, Riley. Why
I
is that?
see Pete Shea.
Yeah,
let's have that link, please, Paul.
And it's funny how this photo looks exactly the same as what's on the plaque, doesn't it?
Let's just count the hilltops.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Can you provide the link?
Man,
and you can see that the land to the right, which you're claiming is Ireland,
Paul
is
for a link.
actually the point of air,
Cool.
which is
How many
part of the
projectors
Isle
though?
of Man.
Paul, do you have a link to that?
It was Ireland after all.
All them
13
holograms. They must have a lot of projectors.
Can you copy that link, Paul, so I can paste it into Skype, please? Thank you very much.
What?
And the other link as well, there, while you're there, Paul, if you would, for the other link, because I'm waiting for that one too.
What? The other link for what?
You brought up two links. One was the one that you've got on. I'm asking for the one that you've got on screen now with the beigey yellowy coloured background. I'd like that link, and I'd also like the other link where you gave the atmospheric refractive index variation up to, was it 17 or whatever? Then two links, please.
I've got that in the side chat already.
I know, but I can't see or get access to it.
And you want a link to this one too?
Yes, please, sir.
I'll put a link to this one in the side as well.
Must do a lot of reading, Anthony.
Nathan, if you pass
Is it
them over to
possible?
us,
Can
I'd be
Nathan
grateful.
cut that and give it to you? Because it's in the group chat here.
Yeah, but I can't see or get access to it, so I'm asking Nathan if you pass it
So I
over.
asked, can Nathan cut that and give it to you?
I am.
And Riley and Randy are sitting on Nathan's knees, so they can't really see what's going on.
See, I understand that you can't see it, Riley. That's why I suggested that maybe Nathan could give it to you, rather than you reply with, you can't see it, which I already understand, which is the problem that I'm trying to resolve for you. So next time,
And in the meantime, I'd like to see the evidence from both Paul and from Mark. Mark, your evidence is that the thing's been destroyed, and Paul, your one is about the molten iron from a few weeks back. Molten iron creating another charge.
You have presented evidence that suggests that the station's still there. When you do that, Riley, then I might.
Well, we have, Mark, we've shown it twice. Ranty showed that on the website, that's a government website, it's been recently updated, did not say it was damaged, and he also showed it in Soundly's own evidence that it appears to still be there.
At that location, then, please, Anthony.
Why did you
You're
eat
the one
Nathan's
asserting it's been
ice cream
damaged.
and blame it on that?
Dude.
It's a weather
Waiting
station,
for
so
that.
it should have been recorded weather, surely. So can you present the evidence for the 2016 weather data, please? If you do that, then I might consider presenting this.
You're the one that's asserting it's been destroyed, Mark.
No, you're the one that's asserting it,
Riley.
Riley. You've already made that claim. So
For that island floating in the air, real quick, so we can tear that apart again.
until you present some evidence, I'm not even going to,
But
bother.
it's your so until you do produce the evidence,
You're gonna measure the exact
it's still there.
size of an island that's floating in the
flat.
air in a picture.
If
I
you
just
seriously
silly,
think
dude.
it's Ireland, why don't you go to the papers and announce your discovery?
Please,
Oh,
Why
Paul,
am
I have
going
done.
around on
I'm
Flat
going
Earth?
for the papers.
a paper.
So there's a
made such
reasonable explanation
famous
after all. What
discovery.
a surprise.
I'll actually buy a paper from your local area if you do that. I'll buy
Go
two. I'll buy
publish
10
it.
of them.
That's
Announce
why
it to
I
the
said
world.
I don't know. That's why I said I don't know. I don't know.
I think this warrants a BBC special for Riley.
Yeah, get it published, like, come on. What's the matter with you? Publish it. Publish your findings.
I'm trying to publish.
It's-
Well,
it's
technically, by
telling that
definition, they are published
can't
once they
even-
go on the internet, are they not?
Get on the BBC. Come on, make this official. Tell the world,
Not
Riley.
published enough, apparently. You didn't get a reply to that. So the question
I'm
was,
trying
is
to
it not
get it
published
published. I've
already once it
contacted
goes
the
on the
local
internet?
Never got a reply to the vernal equinox either. Been waiting on that for
Vernal
what?
Equinox is the answer to that. So is it not published? Is it not published?
Come on, man.
Is it not
If you
published?
honestly think anyone seriously is looking at this?
This gets asked a lot in the chat comments. That's why I keep repeating it. So is it published or not? Is the question.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, Mark.
Yeah, it is, Mark.
Just like how you've not
I love how
published
Mark
evidence that the weather
demonstrates
thing's
how slow
damaged.
he is consistently. It is published,
you
Mark.
You think that serious people are watching Flat Earth videos?
What do you think the word published means, Mark? Mark, what do you think published means,
You
Mark?
really are deluded. Do you sniff
Do you understand the word published, Mark?
Don't make it a semantical argument.
Not semantical. This is being broadcast live.
This Christmas is just getting
You don't get it.
better.
Mark, it's okay. It's yet another thing you don't understand.
I'm going to give you YouTube review.
You'll laugh. Go laugh it up.
Take this to the media, Riley. Get it out there in the hands of
Alright, let's just ask Curved again. He doesn't seem to get it as well. Get it out to the media. What do you think YouTube is? What do you think YouTube is, Curved? Curved, what do you think YouTube is? Do you think YouTube is not media?
This is not the BBC. Get it on.
So sorry, Curved, you haven't answered my question again. He says about semantical arguments and then he does this. So Curved, back to the same question. Is it or is it not published? Yes or no?
On your hangout, Nathan. On your
not in a
hangout.
peer-reviewed journal, no.
Yeah,
it's not published.
I already told you,
It's
Nick,
not
right?
published in the most loosest of terms, Nathan. So
Loosest
you're
of terms.
deluded. I'm sorry to.
So it's published in the loose term.
You have a
Not
meaningless
peer-reviewed
semantical
publishing or
victory,
peer-reviewed
Nathan.
journal or
Congratulations.
No, I haven't. It's a
Congratulations.
fact. You guys don't like it. This is being broadcast live. This is
published for citations.
published.
We're expecting it to be peer-reviewed publications.
Oh, so now we've changed it to peer-reviewed. Well, that's not the same as published now, is it? Publishing and peer-review are different things, Grim. Come on, Grim. They're very different things.
Newsworthy.
They don't say peer-reviewed and be damned, do they? They say publish and be damned. They say publish and be damned, not peer-review and be damned. They're very different things, Grim. Very different. Very different. Oh, so we're changing the term to peer-review, are we, Curved? Because you've been embarrassed by the word published, we're changing it to peer-reviewed.
Nathan, by
We need to equivocate in this.
this right now. Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm the guy publishing it, you morons. Of course I'm going to have this argument with you. I'm the one publishing it.
Your kids are going to see this, dude.
I'm sitting here publishing it as we speak. This is what this is.
Publishing it.
Yeah, but now this is
Let's hear Mark tell us how it's not being published as we speak.
That's misleading.
Nathan,
Dishonest,
could you just show the
Oh,
picture I sent you in
Nathan
Skype
Oakley,
on screen and let them read
misleading
it?
and dishonest. You are trying to infer that it is in a scientific journal, and you know it's not.
Why?
Oh, we've now got the new word, scientific journal.
You'd have to convince the local newspaper that it was newsworthy. That's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference, and that's what, if you can present that on screen, Nathan, and just read it for the people that can't read it and too small on the mobile.
Well, Nathan, if it's being published, why do cats videos of cats farting in a bath get more views than this?
That's funny.
Because it's the people watching it.
Right, anyway, your picture of this what is it, lighthouse is up.
It is.
Just read it, Nate.
Here they all go. Here goes the. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, go ahead. Right, convince the local newspaper that your findings are newsworthy. There's a hell of a lot of difference from convincing Nathan that it's true.
Yeah, but the point is I'm trying, and that's what I'm being criticised for not doing.
That's the difference.
Can you see that that's an email to news at
really believe it's Ireland, there should be no drama. Go to the paper and get it published.
Yeah.
I've gone to the paper, and Paul, whether they take it as a newsworthy story or not.
You've got the evidence to support it, haven't you?
Why don't you fly Chris Monk over?
Can you not see the evidence in front of you now? It says, I recently stayed in St. Bees for a week's respite from city life. I brought with me my Coolpix P900 because of its fantastic zoom capabilities. Basically, I was able to see Ireland from St. Bees. I had to do a bit of homework to verify landmarks, but I could see Portaferry in Ireland. I could also see the two northernmost lighthouses on the beach. A small fat one is called Winky Lighthouse. Would you be interested in running a story on this? I think it's an amazing shot, and I wonder if anybody else has seen this kind of scenery, as the camera is quite a new release. I've made the attempt to try and get it.
You want me to link your lights out?
Riley was so dumb. He thought that the people in the ship see the lighthouse. They didn't realise that they see the light. He thinks that they see lighthouses, the actual lighthouse. That's how dumb.
You got any evidence of that weather vane being destroyed yet, Mark?
I don't have to.
Yeah, you do, mate. You're the one that claims it's been destroyed.
Weren't my claim, Riley.
Yeah, you were the one that said it.
Riley, tell everyone how that they used to have to see the lighthouses. That's why you was using the dirty air, because you was trying to say that the dirty air stopped the ships seeing the lighthouses.
So you can't prove your assertion to be true then, Mark. You know what happens when that happens? It gets dismissed.
Come on, Riley. Come on, Riley. Don't be shy, man. Come on.
Convince the local newspaper that the plaque is wrong and that you're right. There's a chance for you.
No, I agree with the plaque. The plaque is absolutely right. It supports my version of events. It doesn't show anything else.
She can tell us how to focus a camera, Riley, because she's the professional photographer and she let you produce evidence that's so bad. Can't you even zoom in a camera or anything, or focus a camera, Riley? Why would a girlfriend that you put forward that evidence of that?
Well, because you got any evidence to show that the weather vane
and you
was
can't
destroyed,
even focus a camera, Riley. Why is that?
Because if you can't show that the weather vane's been destroyed, Mark,
Why
then you
is
can't
that,
make your
Riley?
assertion, and we can drop it, Mark.
He asked you a question, Riley. Answer the question.
And I've answered the question.
So your
I've
girlfriend's
answered the
not
question.
a professional photographer then, Riley, no?
I'm not claiming to be a professional photographer, Mark. But if you can you still prove your
What,
evidence
is
that the
your
weather vane's been
girlfriend? She
destroyed,
sounds a
Mark?
bit like you. She got a beard.
Yeah, she got a massive beard. She's more of a beard than you have, man.
Okay.
Have you got any evidence to show that the weather vane's been destroyed, Mark?
It's not my claim, Riley.
That was your claim.
No, your claim was it was there, so you produced some evidence that it's there.
Yeah, we
So
have done. Ranty's done it
you're
twice.
not confident
He showed it in
then, Riley, you
Soundly's
can
own
convince the local
video, Mark.
newspaper that plaque is wrong. Is that it?
No, I support the plaque. The plaque's correct.
I love when Mark and Huey are on together.
And has Paul got any evidence to show that molten iron can create its own electrical charge yet? I mean, that's at least 2 weeks old. Still waiting, Paul.
Anthony, we get it now. It's
The
his
plaque
way
doesn't
of
say that you can see
You
a
can't
line
make
from there.
evidence. You can't make assertions
bring
without
himself-
proof.
he can speak verbally out loud. He can only do the "oh, I'm sorry if it bothered you" apologies type stuff. So there's.
I'm happy to
there's
round out on that
randomness
if Paul wants to
right
answer
there.
it, because I remember that
Boy,
debate. It was a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I don't know if Paul wants to address that, because I'm going to round out in a couple of minutes, just so it's not left hanging there.
Did you just cut me off to say that?
Well, we're waiting for evidence from Paul to prove that molten iron can create its own charge, and I've been
No,
calling
we're
it
actually waiting for evidence. No, we're actually waiting from evidence from you, Anthony, that it can't, because that's your
Anthony,
claim.
No,
You
you're
know
the one that asserts
you know
that it
they've
can.
used sodium.
I've been asking you for
and
weeks, and
you
I'm going
know-
to keep asking you, Paul, until you come back with it. Can you
You know they
prove
did
that
it with
molten iron
sodium,
can
Anthony.
create its
No,
own charge?
We're
or
actually
not?
waiting for you to provide evidence that it can't, Anthony.
No, mate, it's
because
your
that's your
assertion.
claim.
Just like Mark's
You're the
assertion
one
is
that
that
made
the weather vane's been destroyed. You've made the assertion that molten iron can create its own charge because thingy can, sodium
No,
can. Now I'm asking you to prove that it can. Because we all
you
know
made
that
the
certain
assertion.
You
metals
know they
can
did it
cause-
None of that matters.
Did they do it with
Prove it
sodium? Did
or
they
not?
do it with sodium?
Yeah,
Mark proved that the weather
Chris,
vane's been
Riley
destroyed.
thought sodium
Made
was
it-
liquid salt, so he's not
Oh.
really
So
on-
basically,
Yeah,
basically there's no evidence from Mark.
So
whether
you
it's
get salt in it.
destroyed, no evidence from Paul that iron
Why
can
is
create
this
its own
about
charge.
the
Do
ability
you
of
ballers have any
iron to
evidence?
create its own
No.
And
Oh,
with
you-
that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tolerating all of the technical issues and, of course, for sharing the show. Thanks indeed. And secondly, a huge thank you to all of the debating panel for, again, putting up with the technical issues and for making this debate possible. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you all in the next video.